Construction champions. It's your host, Ron Nussbaum, and we're here for another amazing episode of Construction Champions Podcast. Today, you get myself as not just the guest, the host, everything in between. I want to take a moment to thank everybody for the amazing support. It's been absolutely amazing as we have rolled out the Construction Champions Podcast to the world. We're in 16 different countries, thousands of listens and downloads, and it has been an amazing ride so far. So today, I want to take a minute and talk about what makes a construction champion from my perspective. Ask myself that million-dollar question. And to me, a construction champion is someone that is disrupting the status quo within the construction industry. And that's what we're all here doing. We've heard from many guests along the way that have given us amazing examples of what it is to be somebody that wants to change that mindset around the residential construction space, where we all live, where we all make a living and provide for our families. And together, we're changing a lot of things. I've had a lot of realization since we started doing this podcast, and we've started doing a lot of different amazing things, not just bringing guests on here. We've created the Construction Champions Mastermind group on Facebook, where we're connecting listeners with guests and guests with each other and all of us together. It's creating a community where we can all be the champions we were meant to be every day. Now, that's something that would never been born without this show or you guys and ladies out there that are listening every day to the show. We want to continue to add value to what you do every day. And that's why myself, Ron Nussbaum, am committed to continuing to bring on amazing guests week in and week out. So we're not going to be stopping. We're just going to continue 2 episodes a week. We're going to continue rocking and rolling. I have great guests lined up. My inbox is full. I'm still reaching out. So if you know anybody that should be on here and we should hear from, or if you're listening and you're like, I would be perfect for this podcast, reach out. Because together, that is what we're doing. We're building this ecosystem where we learn from each other. We bring in the knowledge and we share it so we can continue to make the construction industry a great place for all of us, for our kids, for their kids as well. It's amazing what we've been able to accomplish. This is our 40th episode. Can you imagine episode 1 to right now and all the guests that we have had? I can tell you it's going to continue getting better. I will continue getting better and our guests will continue getting better. We have some that are going to come on for a second time because the knowledge they have to share is that impactful. And we want to keep unpacking what they have to say. Because as long as we keep doing this and we keep opening up the doors of this communication that we're having, these conversations that we're having, powerful things will continue to happen throughout the construction industry. Like I say, we just have to look in the mirror, continue to grow ourselves, take this input. One of the worst things we can do is listen to our guests every episode and not do anything. Every episode, I learn stuff. Every episode, there's stuff I take away that I can go implement immediately. I know the same is true for all of our listeners out there. So do something, because it's truly a waste of time to spend 20, 30 minutes with us and not implement something, not go do something, not have a greater impact because of Construction Champions Podcast. And for me, that's what I want to have happen. One of the reasons I started this is so we can have these conversations and do amazing things for other. Because what I found out was like this knowledge I have, my experience, like this is all came from cutting my teeth within the industry. Like I have a high school diploma, 4 years in the Marine Corps, over a decade in residential construction, and here we are. And I'm bringing guests on that are doing amazing things right now, have done amazing things, are disrupting the industry, and are changing it for the better. And we're having open door conversations that a lot of times, what I have found, happen with the doors closed. Not everybody is involved in them. And I don't want that. I want these conversations to happen with the doors open. It's time that we got rid of the secretive nature of the construction industry and we start talking about how we can do it better. A lot of the guests that we've had on here are part of that movement and they have been out doing it. It's why I preach collaboration. Let's do it together. Because there's no reason for Ron Nussbaum to go out there and take this on himself, as well as there is no reason for you to go out and take this on yourself in your local market or nationwide. We have to come together to do this. That's the power of doing stuff like this. That's the power of the Construction Champions Mastermind group, is we start to come together. We create this community, or you get involved with the community of one of the guests that have been on here. Because there's amazing communities that have already been on here, that are established, that will continue to do amazing things. Now, Construction Champions, take advantage of everything that's being offered up here, because that is, like I said, the ball gets rolling. I don't want to stand up here every week and do this and nothing happens because of it. One of the greatest things about podcasting and about what we're doing right now is unless they get rid of the internet, unless they burn all of that down and say it no longer exists, this will live on forever in perpetuity. 5 years from now, somebody can go online and say, I'm having an issue with this, and an episode of Construction Champions podcast can come up with an amazing guest that gives them the knowledge they need to be able to get through the barrier that they're facing. That's why I'm doing this, because it all starts to come together and it lives on. We create this library, this data. Look at what the guests that have been on here, the Jim Johnsons, the Tommy Malos, these guys have been able to create over time. We're all creating these catalogs that will produce success, that would be a way to look at a problem with a solution. So you don't have to go do it yourself. Together, the sky is the limit. And that's where we're headed. We're going to do things that have never been thought of within the construction space. Every day I meet people that are doing new and inventive things. And we talk about how we can do it together. So if you're a contractor and a builder, home renovation, a general contractor, a home service provider, if you're anybody within the residential construction industry, start asking yourself, how can we do better together? And if you're in service of the residential construction industry, I want to challenge you to do this. Ask yourself, how can you create a better life and a win for all those contractors, those builders, those home service providers, those home remodelers? How do you create a win for them? Because a win for them is a win for their customers. And a win for their customers is a win for the construction industry. By doing that, that is how we become construction champions. No matter what service you're in, if you're in this industry, That is what we have to look at doing. And we have to look at doing it together. Because one person can never change everything. It takes a group. It takes a group that is humble enough to come together and say, hey, here's what I bring to the table. How do we get to creating the best possible outcome for everybody around us? Construction Champions Podcast was designed to help facilitate this. That is why we have the Facebook page. We have the Facebook group. We're building a community in the construction industry that allows us to create champions and champion the champions that already exist. I know a lot of champions right in there, but I want you to understand how critical this is to what we're doing. There's no magic here. There's just hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that we're pouring into this, just like I have poured into everything else. Because I know this right here truly can have a legacy impact. It can be greater than anything that we ever do together. This podcast right here, the mastermind group, everything that comes out of Construction Champions is going to be a game changer for the entire industry. And I am so excited to be here with you guys doing that. It's why I wanted to do episode 40 here with just me, so I can get some of this stuff off of my chest, off of my shoulders, so you guys know and hear it exactly from me about what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're going to do it. Now, I don't even have all the answers to everything. All I can tell you is we're doing great things, and it's because of you. You show up every week and listen and engage, and you're here helping us be better. And I want to continue to deliver for that. So, like I said, we've created the Construction Champions Mastermind group on Facebook, connecting guests, listeners with each other, as well as listeners with listeners, guests with guests. It's all about connecting. It's all about building that community and collaboration. That's what I am. I'm somebody that brings all of that together. And the mission is we're going to end up changing the mindset around the construction industry. Construction Champions will continue to exist and continue to move the ball forward. And I promise you, I will continue to push you. I will continue to ask you to look in the mirror every time you listen. I would challenge you to be the champion you were meant to be, because I know you were meant to be a champion. I know your business was meant to succeed. You had a dream. You had a reason that you started it. Now, let's make it the best it can possibly ever be together. Now, a couple other things that we're getting ready to roll out are show partnerships as well as sponsors. And I wanted to come in here with 100% clarity on what that means. Yes, we are going to bring on sponsors, and we're going to bring on partners that help us do this better, that help us raise the bar. But these are going to be companies and individuals that have alignment with what Construction Champions is doing. And myself, Ron Nussbaum. I'm not just going out looking for people. These are people that are coming into our ecosystem that say, hey, we align with you. And then I'm talking to them. We're making sure this is no BS. This is pure alignments, and they truly do want better. And they want to create a win for you, because that is a prerequisite for me. Creating a win for our listeners comes first. That's what Construction Champions is all about. So as I build out this ecosystem and we create an environment where you can win and we can win together, we're going to bring in the people that can help do that for everybody. That's facilitate an environment where champions can be made and they can thrive. That is what I'm doing. I'm going to facilitate this because to me, having the construction industry continue on and not have you be the champion that you were meant to be doesn't work for me. I have a 5-year-old son that loves construction. And you know what? If I don't do this, the construction industry as we know it might not exist when he becomes of age to be able to be involved with it if he chooses to. The same goes for you, your children, your grandchildren. What we do today, the mindset shift that we have can affect the trajectory of all of that. This is why being a champion every day matters so much. This isn't a bunch of bullshit. This isn't a bunch of hype. This is Ron Nussbaum talking about being a construction champion. I'm bringing champions on, and we're talking about stuff that actually matters. I want to hear from you guys. What matters to you and what would raise the bar? What are you struggling with? Let me go find the people that can help. If you're struggling with something, reach out. Go on our website, constructionchampionspodcast.com, and fill out the form and reach out to us. Let us use our network of not just myself, of all the guests that have been on here. Let us go find the person that can help you with what you are facing right now. Then you're not alone. You're with us. The construction champions. We're together in this. We're together in where we're going. This ecosystem that is being facilitated right now will be the most powerful ecosystem in 5 years within the construction industry. Mark my words on that. I am going to do everything I can to continue to bring people together and create an environment where everybody wins. That's going for the guests. That goes for Construction Champions Podcast. It goes for the listeners. It goes for the homeowners. We're going to create an environment where everybody wins, and we don't just win, we win championships. We win the big games. We win when it matters. So Construction Champions, until next time, be the champion you were meant to be.